All right, thank you. I'm Guy Smith, President of the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees. I want to thank you for joining us here today. We're here to report on the recent historic strike vote for AUP members who work in direct government services. I'm joined today by the elected members of the Government Services Bargaining Committee, which represents each of the locals in our government services sector. I want to thank them for doing a stellar job in representing and supporting their members. They truly have been a team that has stuck together and supported each other. And I would also like to introduce Chief Negotiator James Mitchell, who has also been our spokesperson at the table and has done amazing work. But most of all, I'd like to thank the thousands of AUP members who've been engaged and involved in their negotiations and participated in the strike vote. These are dedicated Albertans on the front lines of crucial government services to the people of the province. They make the government look good every single day in every community across our great province. And they have been in negotiations for well over a year to secure a new collective agreement that recognizes and respects the hard work they are dedicated to doing in keeping the province safe, healthy, and running smoothly. And when those negotiations hit an impasse not that long ago, we felt we had no choice but to seek our members' support by taking a strike vote. This was an historic vote, the first in our 106-year history as a union. And the results are compelling. 80% of our members participated in the vote, and 90.1% of them voted yes in favor of taking strike action. However, ultimately, it is our goal, and it is always our goal, to get a deal at the table. We do not want to have to use the clear strike mandate we have received, but we will if necessary. And our members can take confidence in knowing that we are fully ready and prepared to support them in the event of a strike. But in the meantime, we now have the full backing and support of the members, and we call upon the government to come back to the table and negotiate seriously towards a successful conclusion. Thank you, and I'm open to take questions.
What was the biggest sticking point? Was it language or money?
This round of bargaining has been about salary increases, although obviously, as you know, a collective agreement is very complex, and we do have some language issues that we're dealing with. But I would suggest to you, and if you look at other negotiations that are going on throughout the province, it is about salary increases, mostly to deal with the rigors of inflation over the past few years.
So so the government has proposed an 11.4, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. How is that not, acceptable now with the AUPE?
Well, we have been at the table a long time. We have made moves from our original opening position. The government itself has moved slightly. But when you compare it to other settlements that are out there, and also what we put on the table, backed up by research, to catch up with the inflation that has devastated workers across the province, including AUPE members. We didn't believe that it was anywhere near what we needed to put on in front of our members. The other thing the government did was try to divide our membership by providing additional increases all over the map for certain employees, and that was too divisive to put in front of our members. So we believe our position is fair. Obviously, we're willing to negotiate. We want to negotiate. We believe a deal is achievable.
So is it fair to say that like with the increase that they propose is not suitable for the inflation as well?
The inflation that's already hit, as you know, and also the inflation rate now, we need to keep up with that. That's why one of our positions is to actually have a cost of living adjustment in the agreement to make sure that workers don't fall further behind. As you know, it's been devastating, and it affects workers in every sector in every community, and we have the responsibility to defend the rights of our members.
Can you tell us their occupation so that we can know that?
Well, I'm going to let them do that because they're here representing that, and I think it's really important you hear specifically from these folks who represent those workers on the front line. So, local one.
Hi, I'm Kathleen. So Local 1 administrative support people work throughout the province in every government office. They support their team workers as well as the public that they serve. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Lorraine Ellis. I represent Administrative and Program Services. Our members range from anything from scientific to the ACERT officers within the province. We also have current employment counselors. We have finance counselors for the underprivileged and the unemployed to assist them to make a living. We serve disability clients and many, many more. We've got so many job descriptions that it's hard to just pick one or two of them.
My name is Dax Lydiard. I'm Local 3. I represent our sheriffs, our correctional peace officers, our probation officers, our community corrections, all our peace officers throughout the province of Alberta.
Hello, my name is Bowman Pringle. I represent the trades in occupational health and safety. So all your OH&S complaints or OH&S officers in the province, lead investigators, anything to do with kind of safety and compliance. That's what I represent in Local 4.
Hi, I'm Jeff Leach. I represent Local 5 Natural Resource Conservation Services. So fish and wildlife officers, conservation officers, all our wildland firefighters that are out active right now, and a bunch of other natural resource related jobs, biologists, lands officers, etc.
Good morning, I'm Ramona Fox and I represent Local 6, and we are the backbone of services to vulnerable Albertans across the province, which includes children in need of intervention, children with disabilities, seniors care, adults with specialized services, so all of the vulnerable Albertans across the province.
Hello, I'm Russell Clark. I represent Local 9 for Health and Support Services. We support vulnerable Albertans with physical and mental disabilities.
Hi, my name is Richard Hansen. I'm Local 12. We are general technical and field services, so kind of soup to nuts of all the miscellaneous things. So everything from caretaking to meat inspections to infrastructure, building maintenance and highways, bee inspectors, theater technicians, building museum displays, ferry operators, irrigation, dam workers, that's just a few of the positions, all sorts of things that keep this province running.
Thank you. As you can see, our members are inserted into the entire fabric of the Alberta community, making sure that communities are supported. So thank you for that, team. Questions?
What's the timeline look now that you have a mandate?
So we are ready and willing to get back to the negotiating table. We're calling upon the government to do so seriously. We believe we can reach a successful conclusion at the bargaining table. Our strike vote that was taken over the last few days can be used within the next 120 days with 72 hours notice, but we have no intention of doing that at this point. We are willing, we're determined to get a deal at the table. That's our goal.
And what would it take for a deal to come through?
Well, I think that the government has to recognize that not only are there already collective agreements that have been settled out there that the current offer falls well below, it also needs to recognize that it cannot put in front of us something that's going to divide our membership and pick winners and losers within our membership. We are, as a team, working to support each other and making sure that members are treated equally in the gains that are made.
How many employees total?
So in the government services, there's just under 24,000. 22,000 of them were eligible to participate in the vote. And as I said, 80% of those 22,000 did actually participate. So that's 1/4 of the entire AUP membership. It's a very important bargaining unit because it negotiates directly with the Government of Alberta, but we have dozens and dozens of other collective agreements, including very large ones with Alberta Health Services and other healthcare providers. But this is the first negotiating table that's reached this critical stage.
If a strike vote were to take place, what would that look like for Albertans?
Well, the strike vote has taken place.
If a strike were to happen?
Well, unfortunately, Albertans will see service disruption across the province. We are guided by an essential service agreement, which means certain services which are critical to the health, safety, and well-being of Albertans, and also the operation of law continue during a strike. And about 25% of our members will be providing those essential services, but Albertans can see, things that they would normally anticipate, like parks being open and recreational areas being open, and services that they would normally just rely upon every single day, maybe not being there during a job disruption.
Would that affect the province's wildfire response as well?
Well, there is provision within the essential service agreement to make sure that if there are critical issues or emergencies, that we do provide more staff to help with that. Because obviously, we want Albertans to be safe and secure, but also at the same time, recognizing that if there was to be some sort of job action, it would have impact on services, and it would rely upon the non-union staff, the managers, to actually provide a lot of those services as well. Any other questions? Okay, I thank you very much for your time and for sharing this important news with us. Thank you.
Okay.